How's it going, guys? I'm Daniel, you're on Hustle Every Day, and today we're talking about 7 items off of Temu that can be purchased for under $15 that get that special person that is mechanically inclined in your life really excited. You see, the problem is these days with websites like Temu, Amazon, and Alibaba, it can make it really tough to buy presents for that special person in your life. And with Christmas coming around the corner, I thought it'd be cool to make a video about purchases that I have personally made off of Temu. So I'm not sponsored. Temu did not give me these. These are items that I purchased with my own money for under $15 that I think would make really cool gifts. Now, I will put a link down below that you can click on if you don't have Temu or if you haven't signed up for it yet. And what that link will do is give you 2 free items as long as you put the code in that I'm gonna pop up on the screen right here. It's probably not gonna do anything for me, but I wanna thank you folks for watching this video. And if you click that link, Temu will give you a couple of free items. Typically you have to spend a little bit of money, but hey, spend a little something, get a little something for free, not a bad deal. All right, the first item we're gonna talk about are these spark plug pliers. These things are so cool, and I can honestly say that before Temu, I had never seen anything quite like this. I had seen spark plug pliers before, that's a tongue twister, but never quite like this. In fact, if you look closely, you can see that they look like they have been handmade or man-made. You can see the welds, and they are very, very strong welds, more than strong enough to grab onto a spark plug, but I don't think it's something that you're gonna find at your average hardware store. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with removing spark plugs, depending on where they are and whether you have access to actually remove the engine, the spark plugs can sometimes be extremely difficult to get a hold of. I've always personally used like needle nose pliers, but I will admit in the past I have broken the porcelain on the spark plug, perfectly good spark plug, just trying to get a hold of it and get it out. And these actually get a really good grip, not on the porcelain, but on the part where you put your socket or the round ring underneath. And they have, as some of you may have noticed, these little grooves in here. And those grooves catch on just about anything, and it's not coming out. So that gives you an extremely strong grasp on that spark plug. And if you needed to, if you had the room, you could even use these to give it the last few twists and pull it out. All right, and our second product, and again, one that I think is just so unique and so super cool, is this wrench extender. This specific product cost me $12.17, and for the price, it's already saved me quite a bit of labor working on my F250. Now, the way this tool works is really pretty self-explanatory, but for those of you maybe not familiar with what you're looking at here or not familiar with using tools, let me show you the magic of this tool. So you simply take your wrench, you put it in these brackets, and you can extend it up or down, and now you can magically reach that nut or bolt that you otherwise may have found impossible to reach. And I'll tell you what, this tool is so simple that I wish I would have thought of it first, because someone either already is or is going to get very rich off of this invention. Now, if you guys have seen this before in hardware stores, let me know, comment below, because I personally have never seen anything like this. All right, on to our third product. Now, this is another type of extender, but instead of working with your wrenches, this one works with your socket wrench. Price point on this comes in at a whopping $12.41. And this is a tool that has already saved me some time, labor, and frustration while I've been out working on our vehicles. I will say, I don't really think this is made for a high torque impact gun, but I don't really think that's what it's meant for. I say that because I believe there's a gear up here and there's a gear down here with a chain, so that when you spin this side, it spins this side. It seems like there's a 1-to-1 gear ratio. So as I spin this side once, I also get one spin down here. And if you shake it, you can actually hear what sounds like a chain in here. So that's why I think it's just gears with chains. Now let me show you exactly how this thing works. It comes with 3 different adapters, actually. I lied. It comes with 4 different adapters, 3 for your sockets, and 1 you can actually put a bit into if you need to use a Torx bit, Phillips head, flathead, something like that. Now, I'm going to use my 1/2 inch here, and I have one of my own adapters, and I'm going to adapt down my 1/2 to a 3/8, and I'm doing that because this only gives you the ability to put a 3/8 inch socket in. I personally like to use my 1/2 inch socket. Now these adapters, again, are all 3/8 to either 1/4, 1/2, or 3/8, 3/8. And what that does is it gives you the ability, pop that in there, put your socket on there. What am I doing here? And we put our wrench on this side, and as we turn it, it turns our socket. Now I will say, overall, I don't think this is one of those use everyday tools with an impact gun, but it certainly is a tool that for the size and the weight, I have no problem keeping in my socket bag just in case I need it again. I think this is one of those sort of obscure items that you couldn't just run down to the hardware store and pick up. So it's one of those things that I'll keep around and have it and not need it, then need it and not have it. You know what I mean? Oh, and one more cool thing I want to mention about this. For the sake of keeping all your bits together, you can actually pop all of your bits in and they stay in. They're not coming out. So I throw it in my bag just like this, and I have yet to have any of these bits fall out. Kind of nice for keeping everything together, right? All right, we are already to number 4. Now this is called the pry tool, or at least that's what I call it. This guy comes in at a massive $9, and it's possibly one of the most self-explanatory tools yet. I see this being primarily used with a 3/8 inch socket wrench, but they say you can also hook a Torx into there. Now, I recently used this to remove a stuck clutch on a small go-kart motor, but I see multiple uses for this tool. And for those of you that may not see the value in this tool, let me show you exactly how I used it. So I took my 1/2 inch socket wrench, and I put my 3/8 inch adapter on there. And I did that because this is my breaker bar socket wrench. Put this onto here, and I wedged this between the motor and the clutch. And then I just started slowly turn the ratchet the other way. And you can see that starts to move upward, and you can also switch it around, so if you need that to point down or whatnot. However you need it to work, you have a lot of options with this, and I was able to pop my clutch off. Now I'm sure there's those of you that are saying, well, that's what a gear puller's for. And while you would be correct, those can oftentimes take a few minutes to set up, and if you're on the go, they are equipped a bit bulky to carry around. This guy, as you saw, takes about 3 seconds to set up, and you're good to go. Now, I'll agree it may not be the end-all be-all, but again, there are definitely some great uses. I personally think this is a great tool to throw in your tool bag, and it may come in use someday. It's one of those that are small enough that I would like to say it's better to have and not need than need and not have. Remember, these aren't end-all be-all tools. These are just unique and handy items that are nice little add-ons or stocking stuffers. Number 5 are these flexible headlamps. Now, I know these aren't super unique or super special, but I had to add this in because they are so nice to have, and they come in at a crazy $3.31 a piece. So we're looking at about $7 for these 2 flexible headlamps. In a minute, I'm going to show you how they work, and I think you're going to be really impressed for $3.31. I don't think there is much that you can find on TikTok or Facebook or Amazon that is like this for $3.31. So you obviously have your different light modes, as you can see. Your spotlight here, but what makes this so cool is you also have a motion sensor. So no matter what light you are on, there we go. Look at that. So if you are out working in your car, look at that, it's coming on. If you're out working in your car and your hands are dirty, you don't want to, maybe you're wearing this over your hat, which they are sized easily enough to fit on your head or your hat, and maybe you don't want to reach up and touch your hat or just get your headlamp all dirty. It just takes a simple wave and you can turn it on and off. Now again, this isn't anything crazy special, but I think it's something that even for the guys that have some standard headlamps, or gals that have some standard headlamps in their garage, this would be a really cool addition. I have about 15 different headlamps, and my wife picked these up for me. Actually, I bought them, but she bought them off of Temu with my money. So when she told me, I was like, okay, I already have headlamps. And then we got them in and I started messing with them, realized they were Type-C rechargeable, they had the motion, they were small, non-intrusive, and I realized that for $3.31, these might be one of the best bang for your bucks on Temu. If your husband or wife is ever out working in dark areas, pick up a couple of these. They're really awesome, I promise. All right, product number 6. A very simple item, but something that I bet most people don't have sitting around their garage, but would probably love it if they had the option. This is a leather hole punch. Now, if you're like me and your belt size changes periodically, this is nice to have. But also for the guys who are doing upholstery and interior on their cars, this gives you the ability to punch out holes so that you can rivet through into the floor or wherever it is that you're doing your upholstery. Now this is a very simple tool coming in at $3.05. $3 for this thing. How do they do it? I don't know. You have all of these different hole options. Inside, behind the holes are completely open, so as you punch the leather, it just falls through. You never have to worry about it getting clogged up. Super simple. You pick your hole size, find where you want to put it, clamp down. You got a brand new hole in your belt. Those honestly look better than the holes that came in my belt to start with. Again, $3.05 for this thing. I know a lot of people would look at it and be like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe, maybe not. But this is one of those tools that is really nice to have when you need it. And I found quite a bit of use for it since I've had it. So again, $3.05. Great item for a stocking stuffer. I don't think you can go wrong. And number 7, again, not a completely unique item, but these are hose clamp pliers. And this is something that through all the years, yeah, my finger's even dirty because I went out and worked on my wife's car really quick in between making this video. But through all the years, I have never had any of these. I've always used vice grips or some other pliers or something like that to clamp off my gas lines, radiator lines, or even plumbing in the house. I found these on Temu for $5. Let me say it again. All 3 of these for $5. These are thick. This is not thin plastic. And they're very simple the way they work. You just pop that up, open it, put your hose in there, close it, clamp that down over the notches, and it locks down. And depending on the size of your hose is the size of the clamp that you're going to use. And it's going to stay locked in until you're done doing your fix or repair. Then you just slide these up, open them up, and your hose is free. Now, like I said, this is not a crazy unique item, but it's something that I bet a lot of guys don't have sitting around in their garage because they always say, I have a tool that'll work. And for $5 and not a lot of space, this would make one hell of a stocking stuffer for that mechanically inclined guy. And I bet money that he is going to be happy, or she, I shouldn't say just he or she is going to be very happy with something like this. All right, so that wraps up our 7 awesome tools for under $15 that I think any mechanically inclined guy or gal would love to have in a tool bag in their garage. And again, with everything becoming so accessible, gifts are getting harder and harder to find. So I will put the links down below for every one of these tools. They're not affiliate links. The only link that's kind of connected to me is the one that allows you to register for Temu and use that code. I don't think it's going to do anything for me other than maybe gain me a little traction with Temu, but I know for you it's going to give you a few free gifts if you click the link. Again, I will put it up here. And other than that, guys, most important, have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful holiday, a very Merry Christmas. And if you like videos like this, consider hitting that subscribe and like button because it helps me out an awful lot. Thanks, guys. Until next time, take it easy.